The coronavirus pandemic and its ongoing consequences have given us all plenty to think about and worry about. But there's one thing you can permanently take off your concern list: 5G cellular towers. For the uninitiated, 5G is the fifth generation of wireless communications technologies supporting cellular data networks. It promises to increase connectivity speed to the internet, potentially allowing everything from self-driving cars to new retail opportunities. 5G comes in different types. First, it's important to remember that not all 5G radio signals are the same. The two basic types are referred to as sub-6 GHz, so named because the radio frequencies that it uses are all under, or sub-6 GHz, and millimeter wave, which are 24 GHz and higher. The name comes from the fact that individual radio wavelengths can be measured in millimeters. The only type of 5G radio signals now being used on 5G networks in China are the sub-6 GHz variety. The thing is, we've been using sub-6 GHz radio signals all over the world for years for a huge number of applications with no impact. All existing 4G cell networks use signals in this range, for example, and so does Wi-Fi. Remember, it operates at 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz, and your home microwave oven. So, if those signals could cause some sort of metabolic change in animals or people, as some have tried to argue, we would all have experienced their impact a long time ago. We haven't, because at the signal strength that all these systems use, there has been no measurable negative connection established between these signals and our health. Where did the conspiracy come from? Many of these arguments trace back to the discussions that pop up every few years about the potential health impact of using cell phones at all. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the World Health Organization websites, ongoing studies have yet to provide any clear link between what's called non-ionizing radiation that all forms of radio signals generate, everything from cell phones to TV transmissions to traditional radio signals, and human health. FYI, non-ionizing radiation is a form that doesn't have the potential to cause atomic-level changes to cells as, for example, X-rays or other more serious forms of radiation can if you are exposed to them for long periods of time. To be fair, these health organizations also don't completely rule out the possibility of non-ionizing radiation having some impact on human health, saying simply that more science still needs to be done on long-term exposure to it. However, virtually all of their caution relates to the possibility of causing cancer after years, or even decades, of usage, not just 1 month. What does the science say? In the latest scientific study from the International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection, an organization that the WHO specifically refers to on its website with regard to overall RF frequency-related health matters, they concluded that health-related concerns for 5G overall are not a threat. Specifically, they pointed out that if the signal levels being generated remain below their suggested settings, which all current devices and networks do, that public health impacts are not a concern. In fact, tests have shown that some networks in the UK function at less than 1% of the organization's recommended levels. Interestingly, there were absolutely no concerns mentioned for sub-6 GHz 5G signals in the ICNIRP report. The only additions that were made in the 2020 version of the report over the original 1998 version were comments about exposure to frequencies above 6 GHz, including millimeter wave. Even here, however, the revisions merely suggest limiting long-term exposure to high-strength signals in these upper frequencies. How 5G waves work. As luck would have it, the physics of millimeter wave signals inherently limits the distance they can travel before they dissipate into nothingness. For more on the details of how 5G works, see 5G could change everything. Here's what you need to know before you buy into the tech. That's why, for example, the coverage maps for millimeter wave-based 5G service, that carriers like Verizon have, are so limited. Instead of a single cell tower providing miles and miles of signal coverage as you can with sub-6 GHz signals, wave requires small cell towers roughly every block and, oh yeah, those signals can't pass through walls into buildings. The bottom line is, short of swallowing or embedding a 5G wave transmitter into your body and letting it run for a long time, you're safe. Finally, if you found this video useful, don't forget to like and share it. Also subscribe to our channel for more technology videos. Thanks for your time and goodbye.